Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the latest Russell Wilson drama, rumors, and everything else going on with the Seattle Seahawks and their star quarterback Russell Wilson. It's gotten a lot crazier the last couple hours, so we're going to dive into the content and what might happen with the star quarterback. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Drop a comment, let me guys know what you guys think of Russell Wilson and the drama with the Seattle Seahawks. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. The rift between Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks started sometime during last season when the Seahawks took away Russell Wilson's ability to, throw the ball, have influence on the offense, and Namada let Russ cook. Kind of faded halfway through the season when Russell Wilson had a couple games where he had a lot of turnovers. That didn't sit right with Russell Wilson. He believes he's one of the best quarterbacks, to ever play the game. To have what he viewed as disrespect, take some of the play calling and influence out of his hands as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. He got a meeting with the Seattle Seahawks and told them, I want to be valued. I think my opinion should be, heard. And I think you guys should listen to what I'm trying to say because I know what I'm talking about. I'm a top player in this league, and I deserve to be respected as such. And the Seattle Seahawks, to an extent, listened to him. They did fire the offensive coordinator, and they tried to put some effort into hearing out Russell Wilson. But over the course of his entire career, they haven't ever put a solid offensive line around him. He's always had very mediocre or bad offensive line, and he's gotten crushed because of it. He's on pace to be the most sacked quarterback of all time, and that's not something you want to do to your franchise star quarterback for his entire career. It's no quarterback to take a beating, especially not the one that you're trying to protect and keep on the field as much as possible. So with Russell Wilson feeling kind of disrespected in the Seattle Seahawks organization, not really accommodating how he feels, towards the end of the season, not making personnel changes, not making system changes. They got a new offensive coordinator, but they did not, change the offense when they needed to. And Russell Wilson expressed that to him. He expressed they needed to change things up to be successful on the field, and they didn't listen to him. And it came to a point where Russell Wilson got tired of it, and it's kind of similar to the Deshaun Watson situation. They both kind of feel disrespected, and they're just kind of sick and tired of their organization. And that's kind of how Russell Wilson is, but not as far to an extent of Deshaun Watson, obviously. A few weeks ago, a report came out that Russell Wilson was kind of unhappy with how he's been treated in Seattle and how he's kind of disappointed with Pete Carroll and how there was a rift there, and it kind of got things, boiling a little bit. It got a snowball effect. Things started to happen after that report came out. Then the Seattle Seahawks were very disappointed in Russell Wilson that he came out publicly against them. And then, the agent said, Russell Wilson hasn't demanded a trade, but if he were to get traded, these are the teams he'd like to go to. And you don't really do that. You don't really say the teams that you want to be traded to if you're not, contemplating a trade. So there's just been a lot of back and forth and media attention drawn between Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. And the situation is quickly becoming, a big storyline. What is going on is not good. So I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of, in the back of my mind, expecting Russ to be kind of traded. So the report came from Dov Kleiman today. He tweeted out that the Seahawks have made calls to other teams about trading away Russell Wilson. Quote, he is not happy in Seattle. So like I said, it's getting really boily, and it's becoming a very toxic situation between the Seahawks and Russell Wilson. He followed that tweet up by saying the rift between Russell Wilson and the Seahawks is happening because Wilson believes he's a top 5 quarterback of all time, and he also believes that he isn't currently even viewed as a top 10 quarterback of all time. He thinks Seattle is holding him back with certain decisions, such as personnel and scheme. Personally, I think that's a little selfish by Russell Wilson that he's, causing all these issues because of the way people view him and how good the public views him as a quarterback of all time. I understand wanting to be great. I understand wanting to be as good as you can and, solidify your legacy. But I think he's making these issues a little bit too much about himself instead of the team, if that makes sense. He then added another tweet and saying the issue between the two sides is because now after Carroll gave him full reign of the offense in 2020, Russell couldn't maintain high level of success for even one full season. The second half of 2020 was a turnover-filled mess, so they no longer trust him to be the vocal point of the offense, and that is very disrespectful to Russell Wilson. He thinks that is crazy that he isn't given that reign of the offense like he's supposed to because he believes he's one of the top quarterbacks of all time to play the game. And Dove provided one more tweet on the issue. He said, so now we have a Russell versus Pete standoff, but let's not forget Carroll was criticized for years for being too nice to Russell, so the dynamic has now shifted the other way. Wilson wants to play in the offense that allows him to look like an MVP quarterback, and his own team doesn't even trust him. So what he's referring to there is during the Super Bowl when they wanted to make Russell Wilson the hero by passing it the 1 yard line instead of handing off the beast mode in the Super Bowl. The pass ended up getting picked off. They lost the Super Bowl, and it was blamed that Pete Carroll wanted to make Russell Wilson look like the hero. and that cost them. So Wilson really, wants to put up big numbers and have success. He also wants a team to value his skill set and value what he can do best by throwing the ball around and putting up big numbers. To sum it up, the Seattle Seahawks gave Russell Wilson power of the complete offense at the end of 2020, and he didn't live up to their expectations with that. So now they don't really trust him to, control the complete offense. They want to give him a little bit of say, but not be able to control the entire offense. On the other hand, Russell Wilson believes he should get all the control of the offense, and he should be able to dictate what they do, what they don't do, who he's passing to, who's blocking for him. And that's kind of the rift that they have right now, and they got to figure that out, or Russell Wilson might end up being traded. I don't think a trade would be good for both sides. I think Russell Wilson has a good home down there in Seattle. He's got a lot of playmakers around him. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson. He's got some good weapons down there. I just think they need to kind of work this out and help build him up in O-line, and I think maybe that can help their issues. But I really wouldn't be surprised at a trade at this point, because it sounds like it's getting to a very toxic situation. And if there's a couple teams that I had to name, I would think the Cowboys and the Raiders are really the two front runners right now. I think if the Raiders traded Derek Carr, a couple first round picks to Seattle, I think that would be a decent trade for both teams. Derek Carr is nowhere near Russell Wilson, of course, but he's still a solid quarterback, and if you get a couple first round picks, he can be the bridge quarterback for a new rookie that you draft. So maybe the Seattle Seahawks will go that route if they end up trading him. Or they may trade for Dak Prescott and a first-round pick. So the Cowboys would be sending Dak and a couple first-round picks, or maybe one first-round pick and a second. And then in return, they'd get Russell Wilson. I think those are the two most likely trade scenarios. I think Deshaun Watson, who's going to end up being traded, also kind of limits the amount of teams that will be really looking up to pay a hefty price for Russell Wilson, because they could get a 25-year-old, somebody who's 5-6 years younger, for around the same money, for probably the same price you're gonna have to pay in a trade. So that's why I think that there's not as many teams for Russell Wilson as there is for Deshaun Watson. But I still think Russell Wilson has some good suitors for him, like I said, the Raiders and the Cowboys. So don't be surprised if you guys see a trade in the next few weeks and months. We just have to see how the situation plays itself out. But right now, it's really not looking too good for Seattle. It really looks like they have some major issues with their star quarterback, and we'll have to see if they can fix those, or if it turns out similar to how Deshaun Watson is right now in Houston, and Wilson may end up getting traded to a different team. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let me know if you guys have any videos you want to see, or any topics you guys want me to cover, and let me know what you guys think of Russell Wilson and the drama with the Seattle Seahawks. If you think he should be traded, if they should keep him, and what they should do to kind of fix the relationship. But anyway, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and like the video if you guys did enjoy. Be sure to comment, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.